How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is the second post-episode 13 live stream. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Let's see. Trying to get a few last-minute things up and running. I am running a little bit behind schedule, but we are going to get going on time. Let's see. Got that. Minimize, and now we are cooking with gas. There we go. Jody, how's it going, bud? Hope you're having a fantastic night. Let's see. Night's going fantastic, bud. Just let's see. Did a little bit of running around after the stream from this afternoon, and then just hung out with the family the rest of the night. Worked out really well. Really enjoyed it. How about yourself? How's your night going so far? Dalton says hi. How's it going, Dalton? Hope you're having a great night so far. Jody says good night. Awesome. Glad to hear it, bud. KJ Wiggums, how's it going, bud? Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see. So this, like I said, is the second live stream of the day and second post-episode 13 live stream. So that means that we had some stuff that we did earlier today. We'll kind of recap that here in just a second. We're going to wait and see if anybody else joins us tonight. Dalton says, I will be back. All right, well, we'll hopefully see you soon. So if you're out there in the chat, go ahead and let your presence be known. Say hi, say something in the chat. That way I know that you're out there. Unfortunately, YouTube does not give me any sort of roll call, so I have no idea if you're out there in the chat unless you say something. Like I said, we're just going to wait a few more minutes to see if anybody else joins us. Maybe, thinking maybe one more minute should be more than enough time as my dog sits around and paces back and forth and kicks some of the dog food bowls. He thinks that if he licks them hard enough that they will magically respawn food. It's like, come on, Dad, come on. I know you got more food out in the pantry. Oh my goodness. All right, well, it is 9:33. Let's go ahead and get this train rolling. So, to kind of recap what we did in the first live stream from earlier today, we ended up completing a hay contract. It was the biggest field. It was field 53. You can see up in the northwest corner there of the map. We ended up doing that hay contract, got paid about 25 grand, and then we came out to here and dropped off all of the methane. We had about 200,000 liters, just shy of what this global pallet can hold. Sold off the 200,000. That's why we're up to $370,000 again. We were down to 14 grand. It was cutting a little close. And then we ended up coming back here with a whole bunch of silage. As you can see, silage is at almost 200,000 liters and is chugging away, producing a ton of methane and a ton of digestate. As you can see here, silage for 8,484 liters. Going in, you get one electricity charge or whatever that is, 5,884 liters of methane, and 2,545 liters of digestate. This is a powerful biogas plant. I absolutely love this biogas plant. We also got some sugar beets cut here. That's also producing some methane, not as much as the other one, because you can also see the recipes at 24 cycles per month. So it's a high cycle, or it's a low cycles per month, but it's a high in and output. So it produces quite well. Not as well as the sugar beets cut. You can see 1,010 liters of sugar beets in and 1 liter of methane. 1 liter of electrical charge, 721 liters of methane, and 303 liters of digestate. And the straw, same thing with it going in and 5 electrical charge coming out and 800 liters of methane. So no digestate from that. Let's see. Catch up with the chat real quick. Jody says, "What's your dogs?" So that was, I believe, that was my black lab, who was just kind of rooting around, and I'm sure he stumbled across one of the empty food bowls, and now he's just staring at me. He's like, "Dad, Dad, I know we got food." It's like, "Yeah, but I just fed you like, I don't know, 45, 50 minutes ago. You should be fine." No, I'm not. He kind of huffed at me and walked away. The FS22 YouTuber says, "Hi, how's it going, FS22? How you doing tonight? Hope you're having a fantastic night. Trying to do the biogas plant tonight." Nice, Jody. Yeah, give it a try, bud. I tell you what, personally, I really like it. It's got all the various inputs. These are typically the four main ones. For this map here, it does take straw as well. There's other biogas plants out there that'll take things like potatoes, whole sugar beets, and other various inputs and outputs. But yeah, I recommend, personally, one of my favorites that's not base game to this map, if I can get it, under productions, and this one here. It's the BGA methane pack. And this one does the same thing as this one, as the one on this base map. It doesn't have straw as an input. It just has those four main inputs, but it also produces methane out. If you're looking to install one, this is the one I recommend. If you do just a base game map, it's going to have methane as a non-selectable output, but it will produce it and it'll just sell it for you automatically. What's their name? That was Cole. Cole is the black lab. Like a lump of coal. C-O-A-L. Let's see. So, we have got this all delivered. We've pretty much gone over all this. Now it is time. Let's see. We need to do some work around the farm. We've got to get those fields back up to snuff, because we've got all the, oops, I'm not in America, I'm in Ireland. Let's drive on their side of the road. There we go. Because we have to worry about the precision score. Why can't I remember what it's called? Environmental score. That's the words I'm looking for. Because we have to worry about the environmental score, if we were on the base game map, I wouldn't be touching these fields. I wouldn't be fertilizing them. I wouldn't be, because it doesn't matter. The yield does not get affected on 3 out of the 4 fields that I work on. The one that's across the street from the farm, that one does have an effect based on the product that goes onto the field. The product that I put onto the animal pens and pastures, they don't do anything. It's not going to change the yield, because the animal pasture basically overwrites the field that's there and puts down whatever it wants to put down at any given point. Typically, or not even typically, every time I save and go out of the game and come back into this file, it just resets it back to stock standard values kind of thing. Again, that's why I bought the plot across the street as a kind of pilot field to let me know when I should be harvesting all my grass fields. So I keep them all in sync. I don't just harvest one and then do nothing with the rest of them. It's either an all or nothing kind of bag. But that's also why I am probably not going to buy any more grass fields beyond this point, because eventually it's going to get to a point where if I have too many more grass fields, that's all I'm going to be doing. Because once that one field triggers, then I got, how many I own to do all at once kind of thing. Now, I don't have to do it like that, but it's helping me to kind of, not over what's the word I'm looking for? Not overproduce on these fields, because you can see, like, I just cut these earlier in the day, and they're fully grown back, like they were, like I didn't touch them. So it's one of those that I don't want to just keep harvesting and harvesting and harvesting, and then I have, this entire production point just completely full of grass, and it just goes beyond the realm of believability at that point. Here, let's turn this around so the discharge points in that direction. Perfect. Let's see. Jody says, did they drive you crazy? No, doesn't really drive me crazy. It's one of those things that he just kind of does his own thing nowadays. Like I said, this is the one that's, getting old and getting slightly aggressive. Like today, I ended up having to give all the dogs baths, and he was not happy with me. Again, like baring his teeth and one of those things, and trying to get him into the tub while he's growling and baring his teeth and all that stuff was a little bit intimidating. But it's just one of those things. Like I've had him since 2011. He's been a great dog, and it's only here recently where he's really kind of gotten out of control with it, and it's really saddens me. It really makes me sad to see him going this route, but it's one of those, I just give him all the loves and hugs that he can tolerate, and as long as everything's fine, like as long as he's like not like laying down, as long as he's laying down and stuff, then he's fine. You can come up to him, pet him, and he's happy and whatnot. At least he's content. But it's one of those that if you like sit there and like try to tell him where to go or what to do, he gets angry, like almost like I said, it's almost like he doesn't recognize us, kind of thing. I don't know, it's weird. I think it's a combination of him going blind, going deaf, and all that stuff that kind of leads it to the point that we're at now. Jody also says, I'm playing on Court Farm map. Ooh, nice. That's a good map. I like that one. I think Mr. Sealy P is doing a series on that one, if I'm not mistaken. And Jody also says, my dog drives me crazy all the time. They get into stuff all the time. Yes. So our one small dog, the Jack Russell mix, he was notorious for breaking into our pantry, and he he would oh, you know what, I meant to top off, I guess I could use the trailers, that's fine. He was notorious for breaking into the pantry and getting into his dog food, and he would like just sit there and eat and eat and eat, and he was getting really fat, like really pudgy. Oh, the robot's chugging around. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, look at that. That's really cool. That's cool. I've only recently seen the animation for this. I just think that's really cool. It's one of those where I've never really owned this particular building before, so getting to see it firsthand is kind of a treat. But he would get into the dog food, and he would just sit there, like especially when we were gone. So we ended up having to buy this plastic tub for all of his food where he couldn't get into it. And then he one day broke into the pantry again, and he actually chewed a hole in his first one that we got. It was just this cheap plastic one, but he sat there, he was alone for a few hours, and he just chewed a hole right in it, and then he got to his food and he was happy as can be. Well, then we had to buy a thicker tub, and once we bought the thicker tub, and we bought a baby lock on for the pantry doors, because it's just a bifold door, and what he would do is he'd sit there and paw at it until it just bounced off of the kind of rail that it's on, and eventually he would just dive in and have open access, no problem. So he was getting a wee bit chunky there for a little while, and now he's back down to a reasonable weight. He's looking at me right now. He's like, Dad, you're telling tales about me. Stop it. But I just wanted to top off the feeder for the cows real quick. I might even top off. Well, how much does this sheep have? Nah, I don't need to top off the sheep. They're fine. Let's see. So that's 30,000. We'll do one load of hay and silage for the cows, and that should be more than enough for now. We should be good to go. So it's what, 55? Yeah, 55. Okay. I mean, we're getting to a point where the cows are going to be full here soon. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that's getting full pretty quick. And like I said, then we're going to chug around and no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. There we go. Yeah, oh yeah, they're almost 3/4 full. It looks like 1,000,000 liters of TMR is what that actual pen will hold, and then I presume the mixer will stop mixing, or at least it'll only put in what they need. So let's get one last thing here, and then we're going to go around and do the fields really quick, get them back up to snuff. And actually, while I'm... there's a chicken coop right there. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, nitrogen did go down quite considerably. I might end up just using the sprayer fertilizer. Just that way I can just get it done and over with as quickly as possible, rather than dealing with that. And the lime needs to be topped off too. So we'll get that. We'll get it. There we go. 31 degrees in Georgia. Oh man, below freezing. What are we at right? Oops. Oh, Jody, I see you liked the post. I appreciate it, bud. No, that can't be right. Oh no, wait. 52, I think, is what it says here. Maybe 51, but I think the lows are supposed to be in the low 40s. Yeah, low of 49 tonight, and tomorrow, low of 46. Oh, but next Thursday, low of 37. That's pretty chilly in Florida. That's nothing to sneeze at. But yeah, 31 degrees, and it's only, what, 10 o'clock? Holy smokes, it's going to be a cold night for y'all. There we go. And does this have mineral feed? Where's the mineral feed? Oh yeah, wow. Plenty of mineral feed. 31,000 liters? Nice. There we go. That's all full. Ooh, that's, should have waited. Oh well. Now, like I said, now I'm going to just use the sprayer. I'm not going to bother using the slurry spreader. Nope, I went the wrong way. I just wanted to run into things, I guess. There we go. Now, drop that there, drop that there. Alright, now let's go grab the sprayer real quick. Well, actually I should probably lime first, then it'll be easier to see what's what. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, I think my lime... I think this is my lime. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're talking. Jody says it's supposed to be down to 11 degrees Tuesday night. Whoo, boy. Holy smokes, Jody. That's rough. That is rough. Nope, I need lime. Let's go with, what, 10? Let's get like 20,000 liters. There we go. Perfect. And then Nathan says, like your video and your farm. Nathan, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Appreciate you stopping in, saying hello. And Jody also says, how to get down to 29 tonight. Ooh, 29. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Not as bad as 11, but holy smokes, dude. Like I said, I forgot, like, how it is to be that cold. Like I said, being from Michigan, cold is not unfamiliar to me. Like, for for a while there, like I said, my wife and I are talking about moving. We're wanting to move, certainly. And for a while there, she's like, "Oh, I'd love to live in Michigan," kind of thing, because I've taken her to several places around Michigan, and this was years ago, and I'm like, I looked at her and I'm like, "Babe, you know it gets cold in Michigan, right?" And she's like, "Well, yeah. What's wrong with that?" It's like, no. I don't think you understand. It gets cold in Michigan, and I'm like, it gets down to like below zero, and like this is not an uncommon thing. And she's like, "Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe I wouldn't be happy with that." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think you would." I don't think you would. Because, I mean, she's originally from New York and whatnot, but she hasn't, like, been, like, in New York proper since, I think she was, like, 6 or something like that. She was really, really young. So it was one of those where she really doesn't have, like, a good baseline when it comes to cold. She has Florida cold. And Florida cold is like, I don't know, like 30 degrees warmer than it is up there, you know, at any given point. So, yeah, it doesn't, like I said, it was really funny when she was throwing that out there. It's like, look, you know, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't go back to Michigan, personally. Not that I don't have a lot of fond memories of it. It's just kind of something I left behind. There's certainly a lot of parts of it that I miss. There's lots of things I miss in Michigan, but just one of those where I don't know if I'd be happy going back, and hence the reason why I'm looking. I mean, we are looking somewhere here in Florida, still be relatively close to the family around here and whatnot, and taxes are really decent around here. It's just, what's a real killer around here is property. Buying a place around here is expensive. And now that we're going to have, you know, two daughters and all that, we just need to be able to afford it, kind of thing. You know, afford it safely. That's ultimately what it boils down to, is really the way credit works. You can afford just about anything with your credit, but it's you know, can you afford it safely and properly? But let's see. Jody also says, I love the cow pasture got the robot. Yes, the robot is really cool. You can really store up a bunch of product in it and not have to worry about actually feeding them. So that is something I really do like about it, but it's one of those things too. It's kind of a double-edged sword because the robot requires you to have mineral feed, and mineral feed's not cheap. So it's one of those, like, normally you can kind of skirt around it. Now I could just worry about making TMR, just make TMR on the side, and then put the TMR directly in. I could do that. I could completely skip the whole robot out of it. You don't have to use it. But I use it because, one, it's the first map I've ever had with the robot animal feeder in it. And it could actually utilize it, kind of thing. So one of those that I just decided to go all in. Jody also says, in football games are playing tomorrow night, going to be a lot of snow on the ground. You know what? My dad was talking about earlier. He was actually wondering if we had a Peacock account because there was a specific football game that he wanted to watch. And we had one a while ago, but we don't have one now. I'm trying to remember what game he wanted to watch. Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the game we wanted to watch tonight. But unfortunately, we don't have it anymore. We canceled it. So it was just one of those where it just didn't work out. So he was kind of bummed out, but he's like, nah, I'm not gonna spend the $10 or however much it is just to get it. Let's see. Jody says, "What's your dad's favorite football team?" I'd have to say probably the Buccaneers. He kind of became a fan of the Bucs when Tom Brady came down, and they ended up winning that Super Bowl. But one of those that it just kind of happened that way. For a while there, he used to watch like the Detroit Lions and whatnot, but who can say anything positive about being a Lions fan? Unfortunately, they're not good, haven't been good. I guess they're doing okay this year, last I heard, but I fully expect them not to go anywhere in particular. But again, that was last I heard, and that was several weeks ago. So one of those that kind of is what it is. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Being from Michigan and being like a Detroit Red Wings fan, I kind of grew up being a all-around Detroit fan. So Tigers, Lions, Red Wings, Pistons. Even though I'm not a huge basketball fan, I'm not a huge... I used to love playing football way back in the day. I just never really got into like watching it from the sidelines kind of thing. It was just one of those that I couldn't... I don't know, just playing it is one of those where you're like always engaged and always in it, but with the kind of stop start it was not something that I really can sit around and enjoy for the most part. There's certain times and certain games that I'll be really into when you got like two of the top rated teams kind of going at it, especially in the playoffs kind of thing. That's fun, but never been like a big like watching it throughout the regular season kind of guy. Hockey's my speed. Constant action, fights. You got the whole 9 yards of massive hits going at ungodly speeds. Like hockey's my bag. Let's see. The Chiefs are winning 16-7 over the Dolphins. Oof. They're 12-5, and they play in the play. Oh, they are in the playoffs this year, huh? Oh, well, good for them. Like I said, I would love to see the Lions actually do something for a change, but I'm not hopeful just knowing their history. But again, I don't follow football, so I don't know what they're doing this year that's any different from years past. I mean, being 12-5 is not that bad, actually. That's well above a winning record, which is can't say uncharted territory, but it's not often charted territory for Lions. And I'm giving them a hard time, but it's one of those things that if the Lions are your team, like I've got a cousin, he lives just down the road from us, and he is a diehard Lions fan. He's been a Lions fan since being a Lions fan was never cool, and it's one of those that listen to him talk. It's like being stabbed in the heart every single time. You know, they start doing something, and then all of a sudden they just kind of peter out, kind of thing. It's like, you know, and I feel bad for him. It's like, it's almost one of those you want to see the Lions win just to see him, like, kind of, you know, have something to really cheer about, kind of thing. But it's gonna be one of those things. Here's the thing. It's exactly like it was for me when the Red Wings used to be called the Dead Wings. You know, back in the you know, post 50s, it was really heavy in the 80s and 90s is when they were really, really terrible. And it wasn't until the 90s where the Red Wings really started to ramp things up and start doing well. It was the 90s and 2000s where they really created a dynasty. And nobody was happier than I was, because I was a fan. I started being a fan back in 92, 93. I think it was 93. And that was when I was really, really starting to get into it, really starting to come into it. And that was when they weren't winning, but they weren't the Dead Wings anymore. They were starting to turn that corner and starting to, you know, actually make something of themselves. And they won the first Stanley Cup since I've been a fan back in 97. And I remember them winning that cup. I was over at a buddy's house. We're all kind of gathered around the TV, and I darn near cried. I was so happy. It was just one of those, because the last cup they won before that was 1955. You know, that was the last Stanley Cup they had won, and it was one of those, just seeing them be able to hoist the cup over their heads, and, you know, seeing players like Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov and Darren McCarty, and just all of them, all the you know, the players back in the 90s. And then they won it, you know, back to back after the big crash that took out Vladimir Konstantinov, took out Vladimir Fetisov. No, not Vladimir. Vyacheslav Fetisov, and one of their trainers. Temporarily took out Fetisov, but the trainer and Vladimir Konstantinov, those two were taken out permanently from that car crash. And then they won the cup in 98 after the car crash. And it was, you know, that was a bevy of emotions for all different reasons. So, one of those where, like I said, that's my sport is hockey. Being from the north, and, you know, kind of being ingrained in that kind of winter culture, hockey just seemed like a natural fit to me. Let's see. Jody says, now you got a good quarterback. Okay. I know they had Matt Stafford a long time ago, and then he got traded out to what was it, the Rams? I think it was the Rams, and they ended up getting Goff, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Goff is still with if he's still with the Lions or not. I presume. But I know Stafford, he ended up winning the Super Bowl with the Rams what was it, last year, the year before or something. You know, good for him. I mean, him being with the Lions for as long as he was, and then ended up, you know, going all the way, you know, had to feel real good for him. You know, and it was one of those, he was always a good quarterback. It was just they didn't have a team around him to be able to utilize him. He always had like one or two people that he could always rely on, but the problem with that is that if you don't have many people to rely on, then it doesn't matter how good of a wide receiver you got, or how good of a running back, or how good of anything that you got. If all you got is one of them, then all you got to do is make sure that you lock down that one player, kind of thing. And then if everybody else is kind of mediocre, quote unquote, then you just got to have halfway decent players on defense to be able to lock them out. So, like, I remember there was Calvin Johnson for Detroit there a long time ago. He was a big threat for them for a while. But they couldn't build a team around Stafford to be able to really make it worth it for him in Detroit. I guess they were able to do that for the Rams, so. And Houston beat Cleveland 45-14. Ooh, that's a rough game right there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I used to love playing football. I played back in high school, and I was a defensive tackle, and it was actually funny story. So I played freshman and sophomore years. I didn't play junior or senior because I ended up getting hurt several times late in sophomore year, and just never fully recovered from it. So it was just one of those where I just kind of moved on from it. And I'm fine now. Like, it's not an issue. And I could have played junior and senior year, but it was just one of those where I just kind of fell out of love with the school and the team itself. A lot of the players just weren't jiving with. So just really wasn't worth it beyond that point. But anyways, my freshman year, at the end of each season, we would have like kind of an awards banquet where the coaches would get everybody together and they would do like biggest hit and most creative play and just all this stuff, and they would recognize all the players and whatnot. Well, that was the year that I ended up getting most improved and biggest hit award. And it was funny because they actually did highlights that year, and I guess it was the first year in the kind of history, quote unquote, because I guess they'd done this every year for a long time, long before I was playing in high school. But they did a highlight reel, and that was the first time where they recorded all this stuff, and they chopped everything together and actually made like a highlight reel. And it was really cool because they had captured the hit that got me the biggest hit award, and it was against this team, Britton Deerfield, and they just absolutely pulverized us. We were a class, I think it was a class C, maybe even a D school at the time. Like it was all based on like local population and all that stuff. So I was in a small town kind of thing, and Britton Deerfield was a class B school, so they were like a couple of grades ahead of us, and or quite larger in size and all that stuff. They actually had, not only they have tryouts, but they had like cuttings and all that stuff. Like they would actually cut players who didn't meet the grade kind of thing. To where our school, it's like if you wanted to play, you played. That was pretty much it, because you didn't have options at that point. It was either you'd be lucky to have a team some seasons kind of thing. That's how small we were. But during this game, it was the first time I'd ever experienced this, but it was a team that was pretty common in using the trap. And what it is the trap, for those who are not into football, it would basically, as a defensive tackle, I'm the person on the defensive side of the line where I'm kind of outside, towards the outside of the main line. And what would happen is that they would let me, as a defensive tackle, or the defensive tackle on the other side of the line, they would let you go. The person that was standing in front of you would just let you go. They would just breeze right past you. And what would happen is they would hope to get somebody pulling from the other side of the field
to blindside you, and if you weren't paying attention. Well, they had gone over this in practice for quite some time, saying, "Hey, this team uses a trap. If your person lets you go, look to the inside because you've got somebody coming, and they'll truck you if you're not paying any attention," kind of thing. So I remember that just the first time it happened to me, it dawned on me, oh dear, this is going to happen. So I turn, and sure enough, there's somebody, making a beeline right for me. I'm like, uh-oh. And I just stomped my rear, it would be my right foot into the ground and like brace for impact kind of thing. And sure enough, they hit me, and I hit them so hard they actually knocked their shoe off, and it went flying up into the air. And you got this all on film. I wish I still had that film, but the shoe went just flipping up into the air. It was just hilarious because unfortunately, the unfortunate part is when I turned, the running back actually scooted behind me. I didn't even see the running back at that point. But had I not paid attention to what was going to, I was either going to get blindsided. I wasn't going to get to that running back. Is the long story short. But they ended up breaking through the line, and they got I think 40 or 50 yards. And like I said, they completely destroyed us. I think it was 55 or 60-7. It was an absolute, complete, and utter blowout kind of a game. But yeah, I vividly remember that game being there, and I vividly remember watching the highlight and seeing me just hit this person, and nobody realized at the time that the shoe came off. My coach told me afterwards, after the play, and I had gone back to the sidelines. He told me that you hit him so hard that his shoe flew off. So I knew at the time of the game, but nobody else heard this. But at the highlights, when we were at this award banquet, all of a sudden they see the shoe just going flying off into the stratosphere, and people are like, "Oh my goodness, it flew off!" And everybody's freaking out there at the awards. It was fun. It was really funny, but yeah, it was good times. Good times. Let's see. Jody says, "What is your dream car?" Oh, so my dream car, if I could kind of build it from scratch, it's not going to be like most other dream cars. My dream car would be a it's going to sound so stupid. My dream car would be a 80s Bronco. 80s Ford Bronco. I had an 89 Ford Bronco growing up. Back when I was in my late teens, early 20s-ish, somewhere in that ballpark. Actually, no, it would have been my early 20s. And I just loved that truck. I absolutely loved it. And it was the one with the hard top on it, so you had the removable top. You could actually take out, it was about, I don't know, a dozen or so screws from the roof liner, and you could actually pull it off and have a little convertible if you wanted. It was really a nice truck, and I used to really love it. It was my favorite feature on that vehicle was the brights, how you activated the brights. So what you would do, there was a little push button at the floor, and you would just stomp on it, and all of a sudden, boop, your high beams would kick on. It was a stupid little feature, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and that thing was absolutely bulletproof. I mean, absolutely bulletproof. I loved that truck. So to explain what exactly I mean about bulletproof. So I ended up moving down to Florida. It was 2004, and that's when I owned that truck. Well, that was the vehicle I had to bring down to Florida with me. And at the time, before we ended up, actually, right as we're getting ready to pack up and get ready for the move to Florida, I had realized that my rear axle had a leak. The gasket blew out and the whole 9 yards. So I was leaking transaxle fluid out of it. And I literally just discovered it as we were leaving, kind of thing. So it's not like I could just stop what I'm doing and address it. I have to get down there. So I'm like, okay, I'll just I'll carry a wrench with me. I'll unscrew it when I'll unscrew the plug to the axle, and I'll just dump it in there and be good to go. And I'll just fill it up at every gas station, kind of thing. It's like, oh, it can't be leaking that quickly, kind of thing. Well, sure enough, I stop at the first gas station because I got to top off before getting on the highway. And I take a look. I take a little makeshift dipstick that I cooked up before leaving, and it's bone dry, absolutely bone dry, not a drop. And we're talking maybe a mile or two down the road. Now, I poured it in before leaving, kind of thing. And sure enough, I get a mile or two down the road, and it's bone dry, empty, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, well, this is not going to be good. So I'm like, well, maybe I sat around too long. Maybe, something happened, kind of thing. So I topped it off again and started driving down the road. And got to the next gas station just maybe 5 miles down the road. Like, I didn't go far. I just wanted to test it at this point to see if it was going to be, an ongoing problem. And 5 miles down the road, again, bone dry, not a drop. I'm like, well, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it now, and there's no point of just putting it in if it's coming out just as fast as it's going in. So at that point, I'm like, whatever. Nothing I can do about it, and hope I make it. And this is Michigan to Florida. I drove the whole way from Michigan to Florida, no rear transaxle fluid. It made it. Not only did it make it, but then I addressed the problem once I got here. No damage whatsoever. Don't ask me how. I have no idea how. None of the gears, nothing was broken, nothing was rubbing off. There was no metal flaking. I have no clue how this happened. But I saw it as a sign. I took it up to the shop, had them replace the gasket on the rear axle. It was good to go. It was perfect, no problem whatsoever. And I even told them, it's like, hey, I expect when you open up this rear axle that there's going to be all sorts of nonsense, and I might even need new gears and all this stuff, because I drove this from Michigan to here. And the guy broke it open. He's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's probably going to be rather expensive. It's like, no, I understand, but that's what I had to do, kind of thing. And yeah, he cracked it open. He's like, dude, how? He was flabbergasted that there was no damage whatsoever, none. Like, I was blown away. So I was really really happy about that. Let's see. Hey, Jay Meister, how's it going? He says, hey, BDD, hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Jody says, 80s model Bronco is a good car. Yeah, dude, I love that truck. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, during the summertime, I would actually take off that hardtop, and I'd go to, go out and about, go to work with the top off, and I even installed a couple of quick clamps. So what I would do is I would take off all the bolts, the main bolts that would, or not bolts, but they're screws that would screw the top down to the truck itself. And after the screws were out, I would then take just like regular ratchet clamps. I would just clamp it down, so when I got to where I was going, I could just clamp those down really fast and then go out and about. Like, it was just one of those things that I didn't have to worry about somebody like breaking into the car. And it was really cool because they had the rear window in the tailgate that would actually retract and lower down. So it was like a legitimate convertible. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at the movie American Pie. I think it was the original American Pie. They had a really nice Ford Bronco, pretty much of the same make, model, and year that I had. Mine was red and kind of a creamy white. So it was like red on the upper half and lower half, or I should say upper third and lower third, and then a cream white in the middle. And I mean, it was a typical Michigan truck. It was rusted out and kind of beaten up, but it was my truck, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, the one on American Pie, that one would be like my dream truck. Really cherried and tricked out. But yeah, no, that would be my dream car. Jay Meister says, "Wow, that's amazing." Yeah, tell me about it, man. I mean, that to this day, when I tell that story, people do not believe me. There's one person that drove with me, and he will attest to it, because he was convinced that we were going to break down on the side of the road somewhere. He kept telling me, hey, you should get this addressed, you should get this fixed. And it's like, dude, I can't. I've got to, because at the time I was getting down here to Florida. I had already had a job lined up, and I had to get here to make it to that job, and I had scheduled out a very specific amount of time to get to that job. So it was one of those, like, if I didn't get to it, then I'm kind of SOL at that point. There's nothing else I can do. So one of those that I had to do what I had to do, and I'm not going to have enough room. There we go. Alright, well, let's see how this goes. Oh, that's nice. Oh, wait. Wait. Hold on. Can I... Ooh, I can. Let's raise this up as high as it'll go, because it might actually reach up over those, well, maybe not. It's trying. It's really... Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's happening? Why? There we go. Okay. Now I think we're okay. Whew. See, I should be using my blue tractor. Shoot. Because that one has the tracker on it. It might use up a little bit less. Nah, I mean, that's okay. It's one of those we're trying to get this done. I don't need to... There we go. But you know what? Actually, it would kind of be a toss-up. So, I loved that Bronco, but there was another truck that I had. It was a 91 Ford F-150 that I had. And that was actually my grandfather's truck. And that kind of what got me into... and here's the thing, is I'm not a huge Ford guy. Never really have been a huge Ford guy. Just because of, especially recent experiences. Not been pretty happy with a lot of my recent Fords, because I bought a lot of new Fords because my grandfather used to be an engineer with Ford. So we had like the family discount plan kind of thing that they have access to because he was a worker there. And it was one of those where because I was able to get that discount and whatnot, it made buying a Ford worth it, even though I wasn't really a huge fan of them ever, kind of thing. I used to like my old Fords, because I had a Ford Mustang, a Ford F-150, and a Ford Bronco. Those were the big three that I had before I started buying newer vehicles. And that F-150, I used to love that F-150, but it had constant issues with the radiator. It was something to do with the. Oh, don't tell me, what was that part called? The oh, why can't I think of it? It's the part that lets all the antifreeze into the engine. Thermostat? There we go. It's a thermostat. Um, it used to have all sorts of issues with the thermostat, and I replaced that thermostat like I shouldn't say all the time, at least 2 or 3 times. It worked for a little while, and then all of a sudden it would just start sticking again. And it was just one of those. I would flush out the radiator and get all new radiator fluid in there. I just, for some reason, there was just something going on in that engine that would just constantly clog that particular thermostat. No idea what was going on. But I mean, it was a nice little motor too. It was the 550 V8 that I had in both, actually, the Bronco and the F-150. It had made a decent amount of power, and it wasn't great with gasoline, but I mean, was all right. Especially for having a V8. Yeah, I think the Bronco would be kind of my first choice, very, very closely followed by the F-150. Like I said, I had an 89 Bronco and a 91 F-150. And what I really liked about the Bronco and the F-150, because I had the F-150 first, and I got that from my grandfather, like I said. What I really liked about the Bronco and F-150 is that all the parts, all of them, were interchangeable. You could use, one set of parts for one on the other. It didn't matter. I would take because what would happen is at the time I was driving, when I had the F-150, I was delivering pizzas for a Marco's Pizza, and I was driving, I think I was driving back to the shop, and on my way back I hit a bump on some back road, and all of a sudden just and we're talking like a pretty decent sized pothole, and anybody who's from the north knows the potholes get ridiculous up there because they really only maintain and well, at least properly maintain the main roads. I mean, I'm sure any state really, they're going to maintain the main roads first, and then if they have time, get out to the back roads, kind of thing. But I ended up hitting this big old pothole off of this dirt road, and just the entire truck, like the steering, kind of kicked off up to about a 45-degree angle, even though I was driving straight, kind of thing. So I'm like, ooh, I broke something, and I broke something badly. So I ended up, calling up to the shop, and it's like, hey, I delivered out the pizza, but I've got to go home. Something's wrong with my truck. I broke something. And, yeah, sure enough, I, got out, got it back home. I limped it home. I ended up snapping the frame just behind the rear I'm sorry, not the rear, the passenger side door. Ended up snapping the frame, and oof, it was brutal. Like, it was a clean break too. It was, because it was the north. The rust is the thing up there. That's why you need to be washing your vehicles all the time up there, because all the salt that they use on the roads, and it gets really, really brutal, kind of thing. Well, I guess I didn't wash it enough. It was an old truck, so just one of those things that didn't really cross my mind to take too good a care of it. I wish I did. I wish I would have washed it and do a better job at it, but I mean, it was what it was. But so yeah, we ended up taking the F-150 back to the house, and that's when we ended up looking around on Auto Trader at the time and trying to find something new, and that's when we got the Bronco. And my dad, he was like, oh, well, why don't we get this? Because we could take a lot of the parts off of your truck that are still good and swap them out for anything that may be bad on the Bronco, kind of thing. Like, well, yeah, sure, why not? I didn't much care about what I was driving. I just cared that I was driving, kind of thing. And he ended up, it was actually really nice because the four-wheel drive, there was something wrong with the front locking diff on the four-wheel drive on the truck, but the four-wheel drive on the Bronco worked just fine. So it was one of those that worked out rather nicely. So, and it was kind of a huge upgrade having a two-wheel drive rear vehicle in the winter as opposed to a four-wheel drive you know car. It was a big improvement. What kind of car do you got now? Jody asks. Well, right now, unfortunately, I have another Ford. I got and this is what put the final nail in the Ford coffin for me, is this car here. So, what had happened is, I had a Ford Ranger that I had leased back in 2006. And that Ranger that I'd leased, it was an okay truck. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world either. But what had happened is, because it was a lease, I had to eventually turn it in and, go with the next vehicle, kind of thing. It's just what you got to do with leases. I mean, you can buy them, but there's really no point at that point because you tend not to take good care of a lease because you're going to, pass it on to somebody else, kind of thing. And that's what I did is, I only took as good a care of it as I had to because I knew it wasn't going to be my forever kind of truck, or it wasn't going to be my, long-term car. Well, I ended up leasing out Toyota because at that point I was kind of fading on Ford as a whole, just because I just wasn't impressed with what I was getting with Ford. So I ended up getting a Toyota Camry. Why did that just skip like a big old chunk? Anyways, I ended up getting a 2010? Why do I feel like I'm not putting anything down? Huh. That's weird. Anyways, and for anybody who's not leased before, it's personally, through my personal experience, it's a scam. I don't like it. You're basically spending tons and tons of money for something that's never yours, and eventually you have to turn it in, and then you have to keep it under a certain amount of miles every year, and you don't get the freedom that you get with, say, any other car that you own. You have to abide by the rules. It's basically a long-term rental is all it basically boiled down to be. But when I went to Toyota, my salesperson told me, yeah, if you want, we can keep you down on the mileage to keep your price low, and then at the end of the lease agreement you can purchase it because it's one of those, you'll probably really love it. And I did. I loved that vehicle. And if you purchase it afterwards, one, you get it at a cheaper rate than you would have just buying it flat out, but at the same time you get to basically get to buy a one owner vehicle, is how he told me. And I was young at the time, so I guess, didn't understand. I was naive to what was happening at that point. But he's like, oh, well, you're basically purchasing a single person vehicle at that point. You're the only owner of that, so you know what you did or didn't do to it, and you're kind of good to go from there, kind of thing. Well, what he didn't explain to me is that even though you can purchase the vehicle afterwards, yes, that's true, you still get charged the mileage that you go over. You don't get, that doesn't get kind of wiped away, kind of thing. So they tried, when I told them, oh yeah, I'm interested in buying this, they didn't make it to where I was just buying the vehicle for myself or anything like that. They basically repurchase the vehicle, they re-intake the vehicle, and then sell it to you. So I was forced to pay all the miles I drove over, and they told me, hey, don't worry about the miles, because as long as you're buying it afterwards, then the mileage doesn't matter, kind of thing. Well, I drove quite a bit in that vehicle, so they tried, penalizing me, you know, thousands of dollars because I drove over. It was like, I forget, it was like 10 or 15 cents a mile for every mile over the agreed upon limit. So I got in the 12,000 mile a year limit, but it was something like, I think I went an average like 17 or 18,000 miles a year. So it was every bit of, 3 to 5,000 miles per year over the allotted mileage that they were trying to charge me. So yeah, when everything was said and done, they wanted, quite a bit extra money. So I told them, they could pretty much stuff it, and I went over and I called my grandfather. I was like, hey, do you have any available discount rates for for me? I'm looking at buying a vehicle. It's like, oh yeah, I got one. So I ended up going and taking the vehicle, the leased vehicle, to Ford and saying, hey, do you buy leased vehicles? Like, oh yeah, we buy leased vehicles and whatnot. And I figured, hey, I'm still out that money. I'm out that money regardless. And they ended up buying the vehicle at actually a little bit higher of a rate than what Toyota was going to give me, and ended up getting into a Ford Fusion. I have a 2012 Ford Fusion now, and at the time I was paying way more than what I probably should have, because I rolled in a lot of negative equity into it because of the mileage that was being over. But ever since then, I knew I would never shop at that particular Toyota dealer again. And don't get me wrong, I really like Toyotas. I like the brand itself. They make really good, reliable cars. But that really soured me on that specific dealer, and having any other cars from them, I'll never shop at that particular dealership again because of this one interaction. I love how the arm just kind of brrr. But it does make using this on maps like this a lot easier, because when the terrain is really hilly like this map is, it really does allow you to be able to actually use this equipment, to where if those arms were stiff and they couldn't move, I mean, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You'd have to basically just deal with it, I guess. We are almost done here at the farm, and then we're going to get working on the forestry. That's where we're really going to start seeing some improvements and some gains. Oh, come on, let me go. Let me leave me alone. No, bad, evil, stop it. Why are you doing this to me? Hank Hill, Channel Hank, Be gone, evil spirits. There we go. What happened there? Jeepers creepers. When hedges attack. Tonight on the 10 o'clock news. Anybody remember those from way back in the day? Like the old news stations? Live on Channel 8. when such and such attacks, live at 10 o'clock. Ah, back when the new, you know what? I can't even say that. Never mind. I'm not gonna go there. But ugh. Oh, what happened now? Oh, this is part of the field that has an excess. Huh. Wonder why that up so high. That's weird. Weird. Okay, well, then at this point, we'll just set the worker off. Thinking something like that. Perfect. And we're all caught up in the chat. Nice. Like seeing that. Well, yes and no. Means that everybody's being quiet. And I don't like that. But I like to see that I'm not so far behind that I'm missing people's messages. Let's see. Oh, goodness. So, got a question for everybody out there tonight. Does anybody out there watch animes? Like the Japanese cartoons? The reason I ask is here recently, and me personally, I do like, good anime every once in a while. But here lately, I've actually been watching them a bit more, and I think it's because of a lot of the subject matters that are talked about and are in some of the animes that are out there. And one that I've been watching here lately, and I've actually been getting my wife to watch them here lately too, and she was like, it's not like she's some big anime fan or anything like that. She really never cared for them, kind of thing. But I ended up having her watch one called Attack on Titan, and that one really, she really liked Attack on Titan. And I do too. I love Attack on Titan. That was a great show. I wish that the most recent episode would be dubbed into English, so that way I can finish the whole series, but it's another thing. But here lately, we've been watching one called Jujutsu Kaisen, and that one is really good. Actually, let me go back. So I ended up showing her one, I showed her Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan was amazing, and absolutely amazing. The ones I've seen up until this point. But we ended up showing her after one called My Hero Academia, and she actually likes that one more than she liked Attack on Titan. She really liked that one. So for those who haven't seen either of them, just a quick synopsis. Attack on Titan is actually, it's basically about a walled off city, and the city itself is behind a series of 3 walls, and the walls, there's the outer wall, middle wall, and inner wall, and the further outside of the center of the city you are, the kind of poorer you are. And then so that's like the lower class, the middle is the middle class, and the inner circle is the upper class kind of thing. And outside of the main city walls are these giants called Titans. They're giant humanoid creatures called Titans, and the Titans, they just want to eat people. That's all they want. They want to eat humans. And there's these walls to protect them from the Titans. Well, it follows the story of this little boy who well, at the beginning of the series he's a little boy, but they kind of follow him as he grows up. And one day he's kind of wandering around the city, and all of a sudden there's this massive titan that shows up. It's like stories and stories taller than the wall itself, and the most outer wall is the biggest and supposed to be strongest wall of them all, kind of thing. It's massive, and this titan pops up from out of nowhere and destroys the most outer wall. And you see that after it destroys the wall, he kind of gets his bearings and he tries to rush home to get to his mother, and he finds his mother's trapped underneath some rubble, and he sees his mother get eaten by a titan. That's where he kind of develops this massive hatred for the titans, and he wants to learn how to destroy them, kind of thing. And it kind of spawns off from there, but the whole series as a whole is just an absolute roller coaster, and is a really, really good series. My Hero Academia, on the other hand, is nowhere near as dark as Attack on Titan is, but it's a really good one. So what that one's about is about this boy who, in a world where 80% of the population is basically imbued with superpowers of some sorts, they call them quirks. Each one of the people has their own little thing, and basically the world has to deal with all these people having superpowers. And some people are using their powers for good, and some people are using them for evil, kind of thing. So in the society where everybody's kind of special, there's this one boy that it follows, and he never gets superpowers. And he eventually, all he wants to do is to live up like his idol. He idolizes his main superhero, and this hero is like the strongest of the whole world. He's the symbol of peace, kind of thing, almost like a Superman-esque kind of character. And he just wants to live up to him and be just like him. He wants to, smile and let people know that his smile is something that's going to bring comfort and soothe their their deepest fears, kind of thing. And he realizes that he doesn't have even the ability to have superpowers, so he just grows up idolizing superheroes and whatnot, and is kind of a fanboy about it. Well, he one day meets this superhero because he's attacked by a bad guy who tries to basically take over his body like a skin suit, almost like the Bug Man from Men in Black, kind of thing. How he takes a skin suit. He's basically trying to do something like that with this kid, so he can hide away from the superheroes. And the main superhero, the one that he really idolizes, rescues him in the nick of time before he's able to do this. Well, he asks the superhero, it's like, look, I wasn't born with superpowers or anything like that. I don't have a quirk. Is there any way I can be like you? And the superhero looks at me and said, basically, no, there's no way. Sorry. And it crushes him, absolute crushes him. What they didn't realize is that when he kind of tagged along to ask him this question, he accidentally let the bad guy go from the custody of the superhero. And he realizes that now this supervillain's attacking another person trying to do the same thing, and he realizes that it's somebody he knew from school. And without acting or without realizing, he just kind of leaps into like fight mode and tries to save his friend, even though he can't do anything. He's just kind of pawing at them and is literally doing nothing to help out. But the hero that rescued him, his idol, basically sees him do this, realizing that, hey, he has no powers whatsoever, Well, it turns out that the hero was very badly damaged in a fight that nobody knew about, kind of thing. Not even him, and or not even his fan, the kid. And he's limited to the amount of time he can actually transform and be in his super state, kind of thing. And him seeing this kid, risk his life to go help his friend, inspired him to kind of push beyond that limit, clean up the mess that was left. And then he told him, hey, there is a way for you to be a superhero. And he basically imbues him with his ability. He basically gifts him. And this is the first time anybody's ever heard of superpowers being able to be transferred from one person to another. And then it follows this kid kind of progressing through school, learning his superpowers and becoming a superhero, kind of thing. And my wife, she really loved that series. It was look at you, Tuck Vortex. How's it going? All Might. That is 100% correct. All Might is the superhero that this kid. His name's Deku. Oh dear goodness, what happened here? Come on, let me go. Here, let's try this. Let's unfold. Ooh, did I free myself? Nice. Yeah, Tuck Vortex, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a fantastic night so far. Yes, All Might is the main hero, and Deku is the kid that you follow. His name's Izuku Midoriya, but he kind of is picked on relentlessly by kids at school, and they call him Deku as kind of a slur against him. All right, so we are back here at the forestry area that we're going to be cutting down. I think that everything's all tucked away, good to go here. Let's see. What was it? Oh, that's what I'm doing. Down to here. Whew. Yeah, well, that looks to be good to go. Let's just double check. Everything should be okay at this point. Like, nothing should be perfect and perfect. That's what I like to see. I mean, again, the yield and the expected yield, there's no change in those values whatsoever. None. Because they're animal pastures, pens and pastures, there's nothing that gets updated or changed about those. Now, I'm going to light up everything, because eventually here it's going to get dark. Nope. Let's do that. Actually, wait. Yeah, let's pull that a little bit further ahead. So again, we're using this trailer here for the offcuts. Not the offcut. Yeah, the offcut. The kind of leftover bits. There we go. So this should be more than enough light for now. And when it gets darker, I mean, because I plan on just continuing to work, so we're going to be doing some night logging. There we go. Boop. I tell you what, I really like this harvester. I think it's like $70,000 for this, but it's so much cheaper than like any of the other wood harvesters. And what's really nice about it is that it has the ridiculously large circumference. So there's it will cut down any log on the game. Even the sequoias from what is that map called, and why am I drawing a blank? Silver Run. It'll even do the ones from Silver Run. So it's one of those that it's really comes in handy. So you can see, I'll show it to you just really fast. Forestry equipment. So the biggest one that we have in game, I believe, is the Rotna. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. Let's try that again. So yeah, we've got the Ponzi here that does 64 inches. We've got the Rotna here that does 80 inches, or inches, centimeters in diameter. But we've got 65, 70. Oh, I'm sorry. This one, oh, this is part of the platinum, so this really doesn't, it counts, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. 120 centimeters. But I think even this one goes up to 81. Yeah, this one goes to 81. 64, 75. And these are all ones I've downloaded. But this one here, scroll to the right. There it is. 1,000 centimeters, like significantly larger than any of the other ones. So it will cut down every single tree in the forest, without a doubt. The only thing I can say that is a huge negative to this is that it doesn't auto target. I wish that it auto targeted. If this thing auto targeted, this thing would be, in my opinion, the best harvester, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And what I really love about it is you're not limited to the speed that all the other harvesters are. You're limited to the speed of your tractor. You do have to set it up and disassemble it every single, oh, you don't have to, but it does have a limited range. It really doesn't have like too long a range. But what I like about it, like genuinely like about it, is all I have to do is kind of come up, whoops, I'm hung up on something. All I have to do is line up center of the pole to whatever tree I'm going to harvest, like so. Unfold. Oop, and it kind of knocked me off a little. And then I should be able to just line it up and be good to go, kind of thing. This one's a little bit different because of, like I said, having to bump off the wall there. But it's fine. That's not a huge deal. But anyways, I was talking about the My Hero Academia. So anyways, yeah, that's basically kind of a rundown of that one. But here lately I've been showing her because we're basically waiting for the last episode of Attack on Titan to be translated into English. And we're like, oh, why don't we watch something else in the meantime, kind of thing. So we ended up starting to watch this Jujutsu Kaisen, and that one I really like. It's kind of a dark anime, and it's basically about demons that roam the earth. That again, they'll attack humans. That basically all of the disappearances that happen in the world can basically be explained by its demons. The demons are out there and they're attacking humans. And there's a group of people called Jujutsu sorcerers who will try and protect the world and exorcise all these demons. Well, the story revolves around a particular person called Itadori. And Itadori is, for some reason, I haven't gotten to this part yet, but some reason he has like all these abilities that no other person has. He's stronger, faster, all these things that, but again, it's like with no explanation up until this point, at least as far as I've gotten. I've only gotten to like the second like 2-3 episodes into the second season kind of thing, so I'm not that terribly far into it. But he's got all these like abilities that most other people don't, as just a basic human kind of thing. And he's in high school kind of thing, like latter halves of high school, and he ends up finding this I forget what they called it, but basically it's a like a talisman that they use to protect certain buildings, that because there's so many negative emotions and demons feed off of negative emotions, there's certain areas and certain places that are going to have more of those negative emotions. So like schools and hospitals and places like that, prisons, all of them have these talismans kind of lying around. And this particular one is supposed to ward off demons from his school, and he accidentally finds it, and he gives it to an occult club that he's a member of. And they end up unlocking the talisman, and turns out that it's a finger of a incredibly powerful, like the most powerful demon that has ever existed. And once it's kind of unbound from its talisman, it basically attracts all these lesser demons, and these lesser demons want to eat it in order to absorb its power, kind of thing. And one demon shows up because his friends have the finger. Oh, I do have just a little bit left over. And his friends get attacked by these demons trying to get after the finger. Whoa, where did that go? Don't know where that log ran off to. Well, oh well. So anyways, he starts running back to the school to try and save his friends, and he runs into one of these jujutsu sorcerers, because the jujutsu sorcerer is looking for the finger, the talisman. And he tells him, oh, well, I got it, I found it, and I gave it to some friends. And he's, basically leading the jujutsu sorcerer to where this talisman is. And that's when they discovered that they're being attacked, and he tries to save his friends from, these demons. And in a kind of a last-ditch effort kind of thing to protect everyone, he ends up eating the finger because he remembered that's what these demons are trying to do to absorb its power. And turns out he absorbs the demon and turns into basically the demon's vessel. But he's able to control the demon, which everybody's kind of shocked and surprised that he's able to do. And they don't know why he's able to do it, but they're going to take advantage of it. And he basically is then presented with two options. Basically, he can be killed for, because he now houses this demon and they can't take the risk of the demon getting out, or because they can't explain why he's able to control the demon as well as he's able to. They're like, okay, well, we can try and have you collect the rest of the talismans, the rest of the fingers, and then we can destroy the fingers, destroy you, essentially, and then we can, be rid of this demon once and for all, kind of thing. We won't ever have to worry about him ever again. And he kind of feels this sense of duty and responsibility to kind of, because he realizes, hey, I'm going to die. I might as well, die, with not honor, but with the ability to go ahead and say I've done right by myself, the world, and, and help others, because the demons are out there attacking people, kind of thing. So he wants to be able to help out. And that's the one thing that he wants to do, is be able to help out where he can. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's a really good show. I really am enjoying it, and would recommend it. I would recommend it for anybody who likes animes or anything like that. It's a good one. I enjoy it. But now we've got several of these trees kind of cut down. Let's go ahead and this time we're actually going to hang on to this, or we're just going to let it fall. There we go. We got it to the trailer. Nice. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, there. Perfect. Perfect. Now, let's turn that off. Let's start carrying some of this wood over there so we can get the processes running again. Perfect. All right. Well, Let's go ahead and... Oop, too far down. Now, one thing I will say, the one thing I love about these kind of straps, like you can get this for this big bag handler here. You can also get it for the CSZ handler as well, with the straps attached to it. You can pick up so much stuff, and it just makes transporting logs and stuff so easy. Now, not so easy when it comes to transporting them like this, because this thing is just not built for this much weight. Look at that, 3,300 liters in just that one trip. So yeah, we're gonna have tons and tons of product. And in the meantime, this is gonna actually, or this should run. I think I already have it turned on. Yep. So it's making wood chips. Slowly but surely, it's making wood chips. And those wood chips and the wood are gonna distribute to the pellet production as well as the carpentry, to where it's going to make more pellets and more furniture. And as you can see, we've got one pallet and 600 liters here. That's 4,000 liters in the pallet for the wood chips. It's also going to make wood to pellets and wood chips to pellets. So we got two processes there. We've got this here. We've got 16,000 liters in storage plus 4 pallets sitting outside at 1,000 liters each. And we've got 22,000 liters of pellets here, and one pallet, 4,000 liters, tucked away over there. You can see it kind of in the background there. So we've got tons of product. The Squirrel Away just kind of doing their thing right now. I'm really, really happy about that. Let's go ahead and uncouple that. I'm kicking around the idea. I might actually go do that really quick. I think I might throw on a really heavy rear weight on the back of this. That way I can get more... yeah, 5,000 liters already. Yeah, let's go do that. Let's just go ahead and do that. We're going to go and get a big rear... like, we're going to make this weight bigger. I can go to the shop there at the farm and take care of that. Are we going to be able to get through? Oh yeah, I should be able to squeak on by. Now I think the tractor will be able to handle like 3,500 or 3,500 pounds. It's going to squat something fierce, but I think it'll be able to ride straight and drive. I don't think it's going to make it go out of control or anything like that, at least I hope. But once I have weight over the front of this to kind of counteract the weight in the rear, it's gonna work out. So let's see, go to the other side there where I've got my kind of repair trigger. Pull in here. Perfect. There we go. Oh, so I have a special announcement. Right before I hopped on, I meant to lead with this and I completely spaced on it. I don't know why. The channel is now up over 1,200 subscribers. 1,200 subscribers. That's awesome. I mean, we just keep rocking and rolling on this channel, and I'm so proud of what we're doing here. I'm so happy with how everything on this channel is turning out. I think, yeah, 3,500. Let's try that real quick. Oof. I mean, it's working. it's working. Might not be happy, but it's working. But yeah, 1,200. I think it was at 12:01 when I hopped on the stream this evening. So I'm just absolutely just beside myself with smiles. I'm just so happy that this channel just keeps on growing, keeps on chugging along. I want to thank every single one of you out there who's watching the live stream, who's watching the content, who's subscribed to the channel. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. I'm just absolutely grateful of where we're at right now, because it's just, it's just one more step of, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the bigger this channel gets, the more we can try and do. Like I said, I have a lot of things I'd love to do going forward. It's just going to take time and the means to be able to do things. All right, so here we go. Let me get facing in this direction over here. Something like this. There we go. Yeah, see, now we're going to be able to carry like a whole bunch of stuff. Oh. Oof. We might be at our limit, even with 3,500 pounds on the rear axle. All right, well, yeah, you can see this thing's want to shimmy and shake all over the place. Samuel, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Samuel asks, what game? Well, this is Farming Simulator 22. This is a game where you can basically take command of a given area, a given farm, and do all sorts of stuff. In this case, I'm actually doing a bit of logging right now, so I can create a whole new section of land dedicated to field work. So I'm going to be cutting out all these trees that are kind of in this forestry area here, and once that's all done, I can then plow out the land and do like what we got over here, where we got fields kind of in the horizon. So let's see. Samuel says, oh, hard to control, question mark. No, I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard to control. I mean, there's certain aspects of the game that can be a little bit hard to control, but really it's just kind of getting the muscle memory down. That's where a lot of it kind of goes through. Like right now, I'm using this front loader on the tractor here to be able to take all my lumber over to a storage area. That way I can utilize it to create other products. I'm using it to create pellets and furniture, and it's just one of those, remembering which directions to hold the toggles to go up and down on the arms, swing the head of the handler here, back and forth and all that stuff. It's it's just, once you get the muscle memory down and kind of get everything, it just becomes second nature, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Just going to come with time and repetition. But, yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this game. It's got a really awesome community of people, very much willing to help out and to interact and have, good times. It also has a mod hub where independent creators can come out and create. Like this map here is a mod, or per se. This is one that's not part of the base game. Somebody actually had to come out who is part of the community and create it. This map is actually called Maypole Farm by Cavalier Roy, who's a good, you know, friend of the channel. Has often, stopped in here and has hung out with us and, watched and participated in some of the aspects of the gameplay itself. So let's see. Let's not tip this over. But what's great about this game is that it has pretty much something for everyone. You can, if you want to be like the ultra realistic farmer kind of person, you can. You can, pretty much go by the books. But you can also play kind of like how I'm playing, which is kind of a semi-realistic feel to it. Semi-realistic because you're not going to be using straps to pick up off the ground and grab all the lumber like this. This machine's not going to be able to handle a 3,500 pound weight on the back of it kind of thing. But it's just one of those, like I said, semi-realistic. So let's see. Did you play GTA 5? I did play GTA 5. I've never streamed it. I've only ever played for the channel this game here. So it's one of those that I'm rather limited in the kind of content that I'm going to be playing kind of thing. And really a lot of it has to do with my age as well. Playing games has become more of a thing I want to be able to sit down and relax to and not kind of get worked up and stressed out over, beating a level or, if it's like a sports game, competing with either other players or with a computer kind of thing. What I realized was that when I was playing a lot of those kind of games, I'd get really stressed out, really kind of worked up over things. I would sit there and yell at the game or get all bent out of shape kind of thing. And I realized, you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore to get all worked up and upset and all that stuff. Just might as well just play something that's going to help me kick back, relax, and calm down. But no, I did play GTA 5 to answer your question, and I really liked it. I really liked GTA 5. I'm not sure how I feel about GTA 6. Just one of those that just I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna think of it. There we go. Cut that down. But no, another great aspect about this game, like I had mentioned, is that not only do you get like custom maps and stuff like that that creators can create, but they can create custom mods as well. So like the machine that I'm using on the front of this, it's it's called a 3-point attachment harvester. And this is something that was able to be downloaded from the mod hub and allows me to basically at a very cheap value come in and do wood harvesting rather quickly and efficiently. Ooh, and I just kind of screwed that up rather harshly. Ugh. But also, I mean, like I said, you have a little bit of something for everyone. Not just kind of in gaming style, but also in, well, yeah, in gaming style, I guess would be a way to say it. But in the, like, if you're a person who likes to do forestry, like this here, you can do it. If you want to do arable farm, like planting crops and just working on fields and stuff like that, you can just do that. If you want to do grass work, you can do that. Like if you want to, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do on this particular game that it's just a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be able to just hop on and just kick back and just do a task. Do a job, move on to the next. Do a job, move on to the next. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Look what I found. It's that runaway stick that just kind of flew off into the distance. Let's go ahead and load that one up. Oh, darn it. It's like that scene from Happy Gilmore. Are you too good for your home? Go to your home. Answer me. All right, nice. Very nice. That's starting to bunch up real good. So we're just going to keep using that trailer for all these offcuts and just keep on keeping on. We're just finally getting to work on this. We're in late November. It is almost nighttime, and with all the lights and stuff that are on here, it looks like it's, you know, pretty well daytime. I'm pretty happy with that, and should make for some good nighttime recording, which I don't often do because it just seems like when I record at night, it just seems so dark that I'm not sure that anybody can really see anything. There we go. Aye. Let's see. A bit of a gap there. That's okay, though. There we go. Oof, oof. All right, so this is pretty much what we got working on the rest of the night, is getting as many trees cut down and loaded in as possible, because now we got what, 18,000, 20,000 liters just sitting here. Yeah, almost 20,000 liters. It's making wood chips slowly but surely, and those are all going to get distributed out. Then it's all at the top of the hour. It's 1700. It's all going to go to the carpentry and to the pellet plant here. I mean, I think we're in really good shape. I mean, to be really honest, I think that we kind of reached that tipping point, like I was mentioning earlier, where things are going to start coming easier and easier now. Between the methane and, you know, all that is being produced, and oops, there we go. Perfect. I don't know. It's one of those where I'm kind of half tempted to potentially purchase like an actual wood harvester. It's one of those that, would it increase my speed with being able to use the auto targeting? That's one. But I mean, two, I wouldn't have to fold and unfold like I'm doing with this. I'd just be able to kind of, rip, cut, go, rip, cut, go, rip, cut, go. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think I ought to save up and actually either lease or purchase a actual dedicated wood harvester? Or should I just say, forget it and just stick with this kind of thing? Like, I don't think this is going too slowly, but it's at, the same time, I could theoretically do better. Especially with the auto targeting system. That's kind of what I'm thinking might be something worth looking into. I don't know. Alright, we're getting a good base of logs there. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna take a look, because so 445,000, 470,000, just ugh. Just I don't know if I want to spend that. 449, 750,000. This one here is 300. I mean, this one isn't terrible, but it's still almost 400k. 415,000, 435. Just, it just really doesn't seem worth it. 400 grand, I'd have to sell off a bunch of product to get there, and then just to have auto targeting, like I don't think that'd be worth it. I think that'd just be silly compared to the 70 grand that I spent on this. I don't know. We'll see. After kind of seeing that and getting that kind of cold splash of water in my face based on the price, I don't know if that's... I don't know if that's worth it. Let's throw this into a pile that's already established, because there we go. And let's open that back up. There it goes. Perfect. Oof. that. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and fold and stop that. Let's start picking up some of our mess here. Alright. So we are just chugging along here. We're getting as much product, as much wood as we possibly can before the top of the hour, because at the top of the hour it'll all distribute out, so we want to be able to distribute as much product as possible in one kind of fill swoop. We'll leave that last one there. It doesn't want to cooperate. That's okay. Ooh, one thing I wanted to check real quick. One thing I wanted to check. Landscaping. I don't think it'd be under painting. It might actually. Hold on. That's premium. So I think this is the hedging like you see around most of the map. I might dress up this area just a bit. That'll be at like a later time. Oh yeah, brick walls, that's cool. Stone wall. Okay. Anyways. go ahead and... Oh, 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 easy, 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 easy. Oh, that was a good chunk right there. 34,000 liters. That's nothing to sneeze at. All right. Well, while I'm thinking of it, because I just so happened to look over at my screen there and realizing I haven't given my shout outs just yet for my channel members. So let me do that just really fast. I want to thank all my tier 2 channel members, starting with Mark K. Thank you very much for being a tier 2 member, and you're it at the moment, bud. You are the only tier 2 member. But if you want to have shoutouts and enjoy other perks, go ahead and check out the link in the description below, or you can click on the join button on the main channel page. If you click on those and you're interested in becoming a member, you can gain access to things like custom badges, custom emojis. You can have early access to edited content such as channel shorts and Let's Plays. And that's just in tier 1. 99 cents a month. That's pretty good value right there. But if you want a shout out at the end or during a live stream, every single live stream that you are a tier 2 member, you'll get a shout out for every single one that you're a channel member for tier 2s. So those start at $4.99 a month. And if you're interested, like I said, go ahead and check out the link in the description below, or the join button on the main channel page. It goes to help out the channel a ton with sustainability and for future growth. So thank you all so much. Not only do I want to thank all my channel members, again, I want to thank everybody who's stopping into the live streams, who's stopping in and subscribing. Every single one of you, I greatly appreciate everybody. Thank you all so very much. I'm, like I said, incredibly grateful for every single one of you. I think that was the last little load that was on the ground. So at this point, yeah, it looks like it. That was the last bit. All right, nice. Tell you, for as dark as it is on the outskirts of the map, it actually is pretty bright looking around here with all the lights going. I really like it. So all these Valtras, I believe, have higher light output than base game Valtras. So I specifically got Valtras from the Valtra pack. Right here, the Valtra package. Specifically one because I wanted the S series tractor here with 405 horsepower. Yes. And then all these are the base game models. You got the Valmet, the G series, the A series, which this one I skipped. I skipped the A series. I went for the G, the N, the T, the Q, and the S. Those were the 5 tractors that I have right now. This one being the big S series. And I will say that I am rather happy I was able to get through that member shout out and whatnot far easier than I did earlier today. That was, like I said earlier today, it felt like I was, not felt like, but it was as if I was having a stroke because I just could not say what I wanted to say. I just could not get it out. There we go. Perfect. And it just dawned on me, why does this keep changing on me?
So number one, I apologize if anybody's been talking in the chat and I missed it. I just realized that for some reason it switched over to top chat instead of live.
So if I missed your comments or anything like that, I do apologize. There it goes. Just have to shake it around a little bit till it falls. So I think, because this is the outer border here, I might leave the trees that are kind of closest to the edge here and then just take out everything in front of them. So anything along this line here, I'm going to leave all these trees here and just have kind of the row of trees just on the most outskirts of the field. I think that'll look all right with those there. And check it out, we got almost a full trailer of just offcuts. I mean, not almost full, but we're getting there. Ooh, hey, it's top of the hour. Just noticed. Oh wow, 25,000 liters went to here. Well, it's producing. What came over here? Oh. That's it? That's all that came. Really? That's all that came over here, huh? That's already gone through whatever wood chips it had there. Well, I mean, it is what it is. What did I have in here? I still have 12,000 liters. Okay, well. Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be my kind of light producer, I guess. That's all I can really do. That or I could... Or no, wait, I can't. Because when it produced something here, it didn't want to accept anything from in here. So, I guess there's not really much I can do other than just kind of kick it around. That's the whole reason why I turned on distribution in the first place. Because the tree intake wouldn't work. I mean, I guess I could just take a load of trees. Come on, sit still. There we go. Ah, darn it. Quit taking things from me. Or you know what I could do? That might not be a bad idea. What if, instead of taking this trailer load of offcuts to the storage, why don't I just take it over here? Yeah. So that way we're utilizing everything. We're utilizing all the productions. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. there we go. It's almost 2,000 liters of wood now, and it's basically going to double, so it's going to be about 4,000. So that basically bought us a pallet, like a whole pallet worth of offcuts right there. That's awesome. I can live with that. I can certainly live with that. Why not? Something like that there. Perfect. Alright, so we are just cutting up as much wood as we can. We're just getting everything kind of squirreled away. We're going to take out all the trees, with the exception of kind of the border trees. Oh, let's stack that there. Perfect. All the border trees are going to stay, so along the southern part of the map. But everything here is going. Everything. We're making one monster field right here. And you can see, if I come about right here, this is where we're at right now. This little area right here. We still need, I'm kind of trimming back here behind the old sawmill locations. But I mean, we've got so much work to do. So much work. Like, I'm kicking around the idea of how I can try and make this faster, and the only other thing I can think of to try and make this faster is getting the mulch grinder that turns wood into wood chips, and then just put wood chips in, kind of thing. Like, I don't know, I don't know if I want to do that, or if I want to just keep on chugging along and doing it this way. Like, I'm just... like, kind of seeing that map just kind of made me feel like, wow, this is a huge job that I took on, and might have bit off more than I could chew, kind of thing. Oops. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hey, no, don't do that. Whew. Oh my goodness, that could have been really bad. Oops. There we go. All right, well, just gonna keep chugging along here. Like I said, we're just... I'm trying to think of what is going to be better for... I mean, for productions, for... I mean, right now we're we're doing okay. It just feels like it's going to take forever to get this done. Whoa, easy there. Could we not go and flip my, biggest tractor, for no reason? Let's see. I mean, we're almost done over here. What, 4 more trees along this edge here? It's kind of what I'm thinking. It's about 4 more trees and we should be good. What is happening? Oops. Get back over here. Don't you run away from me. Stick, don't you give me any sass. Let's see now. There we go. Looks like two more? Yeah, 2 more. We'll just get those 2 right there and... Oops. We'll call this good. Perfect. Look at that. I mean, we are making decent progress. This is just a really big forest. Oops, 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 oops. Nope, stop, 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 stop. Desist from what you are doing. No, no, stop, stop. Okay. Jeepers creepers. Wow, we are producing so much product. Wow, that's incredible. 16,000 liters of furniture, 22,000 liters of pellets. Like, that's going to be a lot of product. No, let it go. All right, last one over here. There we go. Oh, it's gonna fall in the trees. It's gonna... why? Why didn't I learn from the first time? Ay, ay, ay. Is that log stuck? Well, that's not good. Let's see if I could potentially just pull it out? I don't know. There it goes. Whew. I was like legit worried about whether or not that was actually coming out or not. Oops. Okay, well... let's go ahead and pick up all this mess here. So I think at this point we have made some pretty good progress. I am pretty satisfied with where we're at the moment. Just gonna pick up everything we got here. I might though. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna yep. We're gonna make a trip to the shop real fast. That's gonna happen. So don't get me wrong, I like this tool. I like the handler here, but I think that the other one from the CSZ pack is going to be far better suited. It's going to be less unstable. I'll be able to just kind of really rip through picking these up and putting them down again. I think it's just going to work out better. Don't get me wrong, I do like this this tool here. I just think the other one's going to be better suited. It being a stiff what's the word I'm looking for? A stiff grab point. It's not going to sit there and sway and flex like this one does. I think that'll work out better. It's just going to be loads quicker, I think. I forgot I've got all this weight in the back, so my steering is not the most precise. So I've got thin tires. I'll just cut through this empty field here. My narrows. No, easy. Could we not? Could we not? Ah, got distracted looking at something. No, hey. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. So get that new tool real quick and we will pick up the rest of those logs. Ay. All right, we got this. Just there we go. Let's see. Almost $7,000 in that tool. How much is the CSC pack? Because that, I don't think it's nearly that expensive. What? Okay. So $7,000 or $250. I don't know what made me think spending the $7,000 was worth it the first time around. Oh, come on. Apparently that handler I had before, the lifter, had far more weight to it than this one does. Driving just became significantly more difficult. That's alright, we'll figure it out. you can see how this one here has the stiff frame. It's not going to sway back and forth. I'll be able to use the kind of red bumper for, you know, straightening up the logs, getting them exactly where I need them to be, and it'll have all the same kind of functionality as the other one did. But I think this one's going to be a lot better, and certainly is a lot cheaper. Lot cheaper. Heck, when you can make $6,500 in one transaction, you'd be almost foolish not to. I tell you what, though, the Valtra lights compared to the addition of the weight with the lights, like, check this out. Valtra lights with weight lights. I mean, the Valtra lights are actually really good on this tractor. They're actually really good. Alright, there's the mill. Let's go ahead and pick up the rest of those logs there. I'm thinking this is going to be a lot easier. Yeah, I'm going to say that's a lot easier. A lot easier. Holy smokes. Yeah, this is making a huge difference. Huge. It's just quick and painless. Like, I'm not even sitting there wait for the head to, you know, stop swinging around. I'm just grabbing and going. There we go. Let's get this tucked away in here. Another 33,000 liters of wood. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. So I think at this point, though, It's what, 12:12. It's getting rather late here. I have got a busy day scheduled for me tomorrow, but most likely I will be back on potentially tomorrow around 1 o'clock. That's a maybe. Uh, but again, I might be on. I will for certain be on tomorrow night at probably 9:30. Is my gonna be my guess. Um, but I will send out all the notifications as soon as I have that all nailed down. The one in the afternoon, if it happens, may be either short notice or no notice. So if you're interested in joining me tomorrow, like I said, it'll be about 1 o'clock Eastern Standard. I think that's when I'm going to be on next time. I'm going to try and work it out to where it's like that, but uh, no guarantees or promises. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. But Anthon, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day so far. Unfortunately, we are getting ready to wrap up the stream here. Just kind of saying my next stream schedules and potentials. Like I said, I hope it'll be on tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, but more for sure at 9:30 Eastern Standard tomorrow. So we might have 2 streams tomorrow. We may only have one in the evening. But I think we got a lot accomplished here today. We did really, really good. We got, let's see, the fields, all 4 fields, fertilized, limed. They're all done. We got 33,000 liters of wood squirreled away in the wood storage. We've got about 860 liters left here. We almost have another pallet's worth of pellets here. And pow, we've got 25,000 liters here. We're also producing wood chips as we're producing furniture, and we're producing pellets. So I mean, yeah, it's going to be going slow here because we're taking wood chips, and wood chips are eventually becoming pellets. But let's see. So yeah, that's about to pop out another pallet once that gets to 4,000 liters. We're making furniture and wood chips in this, and every wood chip we make is then going into the pellet creation. And yeah, I mean, we're doing really, really good. We're doing really good. We've got tons of materials squared away so far, and we've got tons more room and tons more product. If we can just take a quick overhead look, I mean, you can see even you might not be you probably can't see that. Anyways, just kind of taking you know what, let's look at the map. You can see all the vehicles are parked here. We pretty much have everything cleared up until this point, and we have all this way over here. We got tons of work to go, tons and tons of forestry to do. Yeah, I'm on board with doing it. I am kicking around the idea of making it a little faster, but for right now, we should be okay. But I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. Take care.